So this might have got all lost in the whole FA Cup final performance, but we did actually get promoted last season. We have been promoted from League One through the playoff final against Sheffield Wednesday into the Championship in Season 7. This means we have just 4 more seasons to get ourselves promoted to the Premier League, but we are very well on track for climbing up from non-league football at the start of this save all the way into Premier League football within 10 seasons, back to where they used to be back in 1996, I think. And the board have been very kind to help us out with a nice big chunky transfer budget of about £1.7 million to spend. We've already spent a little bit of that as well. We've brought in, I think, 6 players, maybe 5 players so far in pre-season, plus a few players have also left. Some of those players to leave, Alex Hunt being one of the big names. He's actually played very well for us the last couple of seasons. He just did not want to sign a new deal for some reason, so we've just kind of let him leave the club quite quietly. Johnny Smith, another player who has been moved on. His contract has expired. He's played a lot of football up until last season where he kind of just got usurped out of his position, so Johnny Smith has left. But the big name is Andrew Dallas. He has moved on with 195 league appearances and 99 league goals scored. Spent last season out on loan at Partick Thistle for £120,000. His contract has now expired. He has left the club. I didn't really want to do this, but ultimately we have certainly outgrown Andrew Dallas. And for the money we spent, £140,000, we've earned it back basically from the loan deal. He's done us proud. Another player who's done us proud, he hasn't, he's not really played a huge amount, is Sean Tarima, who has now signed over for Wycombe Wanderers for £30,000. He's played kind of the odd game, mostly off the bench, in fact, over the last couple of seasons. He's gone over to Wycombe for £30,000. 4 players have joined the club on free transfers, and 1 player has joined the club for probably too much money. Charlie Green is first up, signed from Watford after his contract expired. We picked him up. He's a very good central midfielder at 21 years of age. Obviously got plenty of potential as well. I say obviously. It looks like he's got plenty of potential, so one for the future, but also one for now. Someone else who is one for the future and also probably one for now is Josh Achemapong, signed from Chelsea after his contract expired. Actually, it might have been Norwich. Was it Norwich? He went to Norwich. Yeah, then spent a couple of seasons out on loan. We have picked him up on a free transfer at 23 years of age, 2 caps for Ghana, centre-back and a right-back. I think he's good enough. We've also picked up Josh King on a free transfer, signed from Fulham after playing just 3 league appearances for the club, 22 years of age, defensive midfielder. This is why I wanted to bring him in. Obviously, young as well. And the one that I'm most excited about is Jaden Heskey. Not because it is Emil Heskey's son. I believe it's Emil Heskey's son. It is Emil Heskey's son. Okay, just double checking that one. But because I wanted to sign him back in 2026 when his contract to Man City expired. He decided to go to Blackburn, which is fair enough, in the Championship. Didn't really play there, so he's been released and has finally found his way over to Oldham Athletic. I'm not convinced he's going to be playing a huge amount unless we sell Luca Fletcher. The final player to join so far is Nathan Wood, who is a very good English central defender signed from Swansea for, I think, £350,000. £325,000. It's steep. It is certainly steep, but he is a Championship quality centre-back. He's still reasonably young, 27 years of age, so still got plenty of time to kind of keep playing. He's not going to start declining anytime soon. Nathan Wood, I think, is a sensible investment for 2 or 3 seasons. And obviously, with the transfer window still wide open, we've got £1.7 million still to spend if we do want to spend it. We've got a bit of a wage budget problem. We are kind of over it, but I'm expecting to sell some players over the course of the summer. In particular, Luca Fletcher, because he is wanted, and he's wanted by Middlesbrough for £5 million to 6.6. I'd probably take that money. Yes, he's obviously one of our best players, if not our best player, but we are still not a big side. We could do with £5 million in our bank. That would certainly help us go a long way in the next couple of years in order to build into a team that is good enough to try and get into the Premier League. Speaking of trying to get into the Premier League, obviously we've got 3 competitions, FA Cup and Carabao Cup. I don't care for, unless we get to the final of one of them, which I don't think is going to happen. I think last year might have been a one-off for the FA Cup. The Championship, however, we're expected to fight bravely against relegation right now, and if we have a look at the season preview, 23rd. I'm hoping mid-table. I think realistically we're looking maybe 15th to 18th. If we're staying up, that's kind of the territory. I'd love to be sort of 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. That's kind of the goal. We always need to be going upwards. We don't want to be in a relegation scrap if we can help it. So with that said, let's jump forward then to the end of September, the end of the transfer window, and see what more transfer business we have done. Not a lot, in fact. We've not done a huge amount of transfer business at all. Dynel Sameo has left the club after spending a season out on loan at Woking and getting some football as well. He is signed for Fleetwood down in League One. Joining the club, we have got 2 very exciting players, and I'm not just saying that. we do have two very exciting players, both of them as well, signing on a free transfer. Nico O'Reilly, first up, 24 years of age, attacking midfielder, maybe a striker if we need him to be, signed from Rotherham, technically, former Man City youngster. This is basically my game plan. Buy former Man City players because they're normally quite good, and if they're not quite good, they're good enough. Nico O'Reilly is one of those players that I think is going to be very good for us. And the second one is Will Smallbone. This is a short-term kind of option here. Will Smallbone, he's got a 3-year contract. I'm expecting he's going to leave at the end of this contract. I'm not going to try and sell him on or anything, because by the time his contract is up, he will be 32 years of age, maybe even 33 years of age. So yeah, we're not going to see Will Smallbone until basically in Season 10, but I think for Season 7, 8 and 9, he's going to be a very good player, playing in that Segundo Volante role, just in the defensive midfield positions. I think this is a good signing. On a free transfer as well. Yes, he went to Burton Albion last season. I tried to buy him then. He didn't want to join me. Went to Burton Albion, got released after 2 years there, and then we picked him up. But that is literally all of our transfers for our first season in the Championship in a very long time. We do have loan deals galore going on. Ashley Rogers going out on loan. Stephen Pace going out on loan. Stuart Proctor going out on loan. Not sure why I called that one out, because he's kind of irrelevant. Anyone else? Isaiah Lewis going to Mansfield. He needs to get more game time. He needs to start playing football, getting better, I think. So that's why we've done that one. We've got, what else have we got? I feel like he was an important player. Maybe not. Nope, he's not at all. Samuel Archer going out on loan to Fleetwood as well. So a whole bunch of players going out on loan. Some of them bringing in a bit of cash as well, which is obviously always quite helpful. Now, technically, this isn't a new signing, but it is also kind of a new signing. Jamie Nash, who was on loan last season from Bournemouth, has extended his loan deal for another season. The other three, none of them actually wanted to extend their loan deals. And in fact, if we have a look, Dante Orr, I believe, is still at Bournemouth. He's actually quite good. We've got Aidan White, who's gone out on loan to Preston in League One. He wouldn't sign, Bournemouth would not loan him to us because he wanted to play with stronger players. So he's dropped down a league. I don't understand that one. And Billy Armstrong has gone out on loan to Leyton Orient. And I think this is a similar situation where they wanted him to play with stronger players. And apparently Leyton Orient is where he's landed. So tactically, this is what we're locking in. Nothing. We are locking in absolutely nothing this season, which could be a big, big risk. But I think when we have a look at our squad itself, sort by where we are training players, we've got players in every position. We've got 4 goalkeepers, which arguably probably too many. We've got plenty of centre-backs. In fact, we've got 5, 6 centre-backs there. We've got loads of Segundo Volantes. We've got loads of wingers. We've got 2 attacking midfielders, which doesn't sound like a lot, but Nico O'Reilly and Asgard should probably be good enough to kind of rotate between the pair of them. And then strikers, we're overloaded with Scarlett, De Cruz, Heskey, Fletcher and Alfie Smith. It's going to be difficult who's up front. I imagine it's going to be De Cruz and Fletcher, which means Smith is going to get annoyed. Heskey's going to get annoyed. Dane Scarlett already is annoyed, and I have tried to sell him out the summer. Nobody wanted to buy him. We have also started in the competitions. Carabao Cup, we've been knocked out by Lincoln. FA Cup has not started yet. And in the Championship, 22nd. We've played 6, we've lost 5, we've drawn a game 3-3 against Hull. We've lost comfortably, shall we say, against Leeds 5-2, a 3-1 defeat as well against Bristol Rovers, but a couple of 1-0s as well. All we needed was another goal, and that could have kind of turned things around, getting us a point. But early days, Southampton, my team that I support, currently rooted to the bottom of the table, which it's not good reading. But as we jump forward to the 2nd of January, because I accidentally pressed continue once, we have moved up to 9th place in the Championship. Things have turned around massively. We've gone from literally losing 5 games to losing just 5 more in the subsequent, 17 fixtures or something like that. We have won 11 of them. Some massive wins as well. 5-1 against Blackpool, 6-2 against Oxford, a 4-0 against Luton, 6-0 against Millwall, 5-3 against Barnsley. So we are picking up lots and lots of points, which is very good reading. Luca Fletcher, top goal scorer in the league. Highest average rating as well as Fletcher. Nico O'Reilly, 2nd as well. Obviously, the transfer window has swung open, and we haven't got any money. We're over our wage budget and we've got very little money. So the only thing we're going to probably do is maybe sell somebody if we get a decent offer. I'd rather not sell anyone if we can help it. So let's jump forward to the end of the January transfer window, see how things are gone. O'Shea Ellis has left the club, signing for Boreham Wood for about £35,000 and then subsequently damaging his cruciate ligaments, so he is out for the rest of the season. But luckily for us, we got the money in before he did that. In fact, he did that on his debut. He picked up a yellow card and got injured on his debut. Good job. And that is it. We've loaned out a few more players. So Errol Mifsud has gone out on loan to Doncaster. This is a big one. Alfie Smith to Salford. He was annoyed that he wasn't getting game time, which I kind of thought might happen. So going to Salford, thought the rest of the season is going to be helpful from Dane Scarlett, also leaving the club on a loan deal. to Western Sydney Wanderers down in Australia. But for £235,000 is huge, and Charlie Green has gone out on loan to Wickham. I thought we'd get a lot more game time out of Charlie Green, but apparently he doesn't get in the squad at the moment, probably because he's not a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder. When it comes to the competitions as well, FA Cup, we have now been knocked out of this one by York, which is no surprise, so we are out of everything apart from obviously the Championship, where we've dropped down to 13th place because I think we've played 3 more games, we've lost a match, and then I think we've drawn twice. So yeah, we've not really had a particularly good January. In fact, you can see there, we beat Blackpool on New Year's Day, and then we've drawn against Fulham and Swansea, and then lost against Derby, and obviously got knocked out of the FA Cup on telly. Okay, that's nice. At least we're on telly. Got 72 grand for that. And just to confirm with you there, we are still not locking in anybody for the remainder of the season. So we're now going to jump forward to probably around the 1st of June, which is normally when we'll do it to see how well things have gone. I'm expecting we're going to be finishing mid-table, which is absolutely perfect. That's kind of what we want to happen. And there it is then, confirmation on the 1st of June, finishing 9th place in the Championship. So the best of the rest by the looks of it. We were a fair distance away from the playoffs, in fact 11 points away from the playoffs, which was won by Portsmouth, who finished down in 6th place. I imagine Luton and Ipswich are probably quite annoyed with that, because, while saying that, it was only 2 points between Portsmouth and Ipswich, but Luton were arguably probably on track to go automatically promoted and then losing in not even the final. They got knocked out in the semi-final against Portsmouth as well. That must have stung. Anyway, we finished in 6th place. We haven't finished in 6th place, we finished in 9th place. We're not Portsmouth. And because of that, we have boosted our financial situation somewhat. We've been given actually £6.65 million as I'm going to say a bonus, but we've also given out £4.27 million as probably a bonus as well to other people. 3 players have broken double figures when it comes to scoring goals. Nico O'Reilly is the first one playing in that attacking midfield role. I think as well, he probably played up front occasionally. Yeah, so he played up front against Barnsley. We can see Plymouth, Swansea playing up front. So for the most part, O'Reilly was playing as that attacking midfielder with 22 goals, 14 assists in all competitions. I'm going to say all competitions, even though we only played 3 matches in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup combined. Andre de Cruz also managed to score 22 goals in all competitions, 4 assists though to his name this time around, so quite a greedy player, which is fine. It's okay to have a greedy player. He only got 4 assists out of an XG of 4.22, so actually that's kind of expected. He's wanted by Swansea. He's valued at £20 million. If Swansea bid anywhere near £20 million, I'm accepting it, because I don't think de Cruz is going to get too much better than what he currently is. He's got 8 finishing. The top goal scorer once again was Luca Fletcher with 28 league goals, 2 in the Carabao Cup, 11 assists as well in all competitions. Luca Fletcher, his value is declining, but I can only assume that is because of his, he's only got 2 years left on his contract. That might have something to do with it, but at 23 years of age, Luca Fletcher's still a very good footballer. I don't know whether we're going to look to try and hold on to Fletcher until the end of the save, or if somebody comes in for big money, do we try and cash in? Because essentially next season, season 8, is when we need to decide what we're going to do with Fletcher. Because if we want to give him a new contract, we want to do it before the end of season 8, really. Because then he'll be in his final 12 months if we leave it. And we don't want that to happen. Third top assister for the season is Quadro Bar on that right, or maybe even left-hand side, in fact, getting 13 assists, also 6 goals as well. 4th place, by the way, for the assist was Luca Fletcher with his 11. Nico O'Reilly comes in at 2nd place for assists with his 14, 12 of them coming in the league, 2 of them in the Carabao Cup. But at the top is Bournemouth loanee Jamie Nash with 17 assists, 16 of them in the league, also getting 4 goals as well. He's a very good player, but I fear this might be the last time we see him, because he's still got 2 years left on his contract at Bournemouth, so we can't try and pick him up on a free. I don't think they're going to want to loan him out to us for a 3rd season. So this might be the end of Jamie Nash. Honourable mentions then for 3 players. Ellery Balcombe, first up, our number 1 goalkeeper. Yes, he did concede 94 goals and only kept 4 clean sheets, but we are not a championship side, and we finished well above mid-table in the championship. So Balcombe, at 30 years of age, has done very well. We might be starting to see the decline. I'm not sure. Maybe we get another year out of Ellery Balcombe, but we certainly do need to look at replacing him in the near future, because I don't think he's going to be very good over basically season 9 and 10. I think Balcombe is definitely going to be gone. Nathan Wood as well, probably our most expensive signing so far in this save. He's had a decent season, 34 league games, an average rating of a 6.86, played quite well. Didn't really do anything special, which is fine. As a centre-back, you don't need him doing anything special. I think this was sensible money. And the other player to mention is Will Smallbone, the other summer signing on a free transfer. At 30 years of age now, he's still very, very good. He's playing, I assume, predominantly as that deep-lying playmaker, the segundo volante, and apparently as a central midfielder, as an inverted winger. I'm not even sure if that's a thing, but he's playing 45 minutes a game, coming off quite a few times, but I'm happy with that. That's a good player. He's on a lot of money. Ignore that. Ignore the fact that he's on 11 grand a week. I think small bone for another season or two is going to be very helpful for us. And when, like I said, when we signed him, not planning on extending his contract. So that concludes Season 7 with Oldham. We are still in the Championship, and in fact, we are well and comfortable in the Championship. Next season, we do have a transfer budget of £1.647 million to spend. We've got a bit of wage budget as well, which is about, £10,000 on top of what we kind of spend. Then I'm hopeful, okay? I'm stumbling over my words, but I'm hopeful that I think we can kind of do well. Next season, another season of building. Season 9 is where we push for playoffs. Season 10 is where we basically, hopefully anyway, get promoted to the Premier League. I'd love to go up as champions. Don't think it's going to happen though.